Dandadan is one of those weird animes where you'll find a granny who wants to gobble your balls for dinner or aliens who wants to extract your bananas for an experiment. The whole series itself has been filled with crazy fights. In today's video, I'll be ranking the top 5 strongest villains so far on the released episodes. Starting off at number 5, we have the Flatwoods Monster, or as most people call him, the Sumo Yokai. At first, he might have looked like an easy opponent, but the moment he pulled Ken and Momo into his domain, the atmosphere shifted. You could tell things were about to get intense. The Sumo Yokai is incredibly strong, relying on raw sumo wrestling techniques to overpower both Ken and Momo. His attacks are pretty basic, but when he started slamming Momo into the wall over and over again, it was clear he overpowers them at that point in the plot. But what really turns him into a threat is the black, toxic gas he releases, slowly poisoning the air and wearing down his opponents. Although Momo ended up defeating him with the talisman, his weakness makes him vulnerable. If his hands touches the ground or he breaks his sumo stance, his body begins to fall apart. But even with that vulnerability, his sheer strength at that point in the story was way above what Ken and Momo could deal with. At number 4, we have the acrobatic Silky. She's one of those few yokais in the story that actually got a sad backstory and had every right to go berserk. But unlike Evil Eyes, acrobatic Silky possessed more compassion for humans. This is mainly because she mistakes Era for her daughter, who was kidnapped by criminals, which led to her committing suicide. At first, acrobatic Silky looks harmless until you realize her hair and acrobatic stance makes her invulnerable. She can easily retract and expand her hair at will, giving her the ability to move people without her arms. She ended up overpowering Okarun even after he went all out and swallowed him along with Momo and Ira, which ended up leading to Era's demise. Acrobatic Silky ended up using her soul as a battery to bring Era back to life, which led to her final passing away to the void and Era inheriting her powers. Claiming the spot at number 3 is none other than Nessie. When the aliens realized that Momo's psychic powers posed a serious threat to their plan of harvesting Turbo Granny's energy from Okarun, they brought in some reinforcements to keep Momo busy. Unlike other aliens, it sees and senses its environment primarily through water-based vibrations. Nessie has the ability to flood areas and alter any material into water, which it uses to drag its large body around with ease. It usually compresses water to create high-energy beams that can slice through anything, even through the aliens themselves. Nessie became a huge problem after it was fused with Mr. Mantis, which gave it a crazy amount of immense punching force underwater. At number 2, we have Turbo Granny, and so far she still stands as the strongest in the series because of her numerous abilities. Apart from her insane speed that makes her stand out, Turbo Granny considers herself the fastest yokai out there. She can alter her body and shape at any moment depending on the situation she finds herself. Even when Okarun was only using a fraction of her power, he was strong enough to draw the attention of aliens who want to harness Turbo Granny's powers from him. She resisted being sealed multiple times and managed to possess Okarun long enough to leave a permanent mark on him, literally giving him powers. At number 1, we have Evil Eyes. And for those of you wondering why I ranked Evil Eyes stronger than Turbo Granny, well, that's because while we've seen most of Turbo Granny's abilities, we haven't seen Evil Eyes go all out yet. He hasn't gotten used to Gigi's body, and yet it took the help of almost everyone in the plot to restrain him. Evil Eye has one of the most tragic and impactful origins in the series. As a kid, he was once sacrificed and starved to death by the Keto family. This cruelty caused his spirit to transform into a vengeful ghost, consumed by loneliness and hatred toward humanity. Before Evil Eye possessed Gigi, he appeared like a scared child who's too scared to do anything, even when Turbo Granny warned him not to trust him at all. When Evil Eye possesses Gigi, he gains a terrifying set of abilities. He uses the soul of past residents of Gigi's house to create a soul ball that he uses to destroy anything in his path, and can physically manifest his grudges into destructive attacks. Possession also gives Gigi enhanced strength, speed, and durability, making him a formidable physical fighter and potential threat.